What's your problem? I said, what's your problem?
It's the 30th anniversary of the action sci-fi cult film They Live. And yeah, we just did Halloween. But can you blame us if Carpenter made another semi-holiday related film? It's election season. It's time to look at the film that warns us that while they live, we sleep. Here are 7 things you didn't know about They Live. Probably.
You couldn't even save your own!
We all know you guys are here to talk about the fight scene, and we promise we'll get there. But first, you may know They Live is based off a short story, 8 o'clock in the morning, then later the comic Nada, both by Ray Nelson. What you may not know is the film star and professional wrestling legend Roddy Piper believed that the events of the film were based off a real event called the Brunswick Affair. He describes how in the 1950s, the waves from a specific TV caused people to buy in excess, specifically recounting the story of a woman who bought multiple cans of dog food but had no dog.
I don't own a dog. I don't even like dogs.
In actuality, the Brunswick Affair was a mockumentary short that Piper must have seen and confused as a real event in the past. But hey, he wasn't too far off.
You look like your head fell on the cheese dip back in 1957.
The first few times Nada puts on the sunglasses are just as jarring for the audience as it is for him. It quickly expresses the effect of subliminal messaging by showing the black and white truth in, well, black and white. Both the color and black and white billboards and wider landscape shots were actually matte paintings by Jim Danforth, but Nada's view of the grocery store set was so elaborate and detailed, with all the practical subliminal messages printed on cans and boxes, it became the most expensive cost to the production. But it was most likely worth it. The look of the film was nothing short of iconic. Almost as iconic as this segue. Although Roddy Piper's character isn't named until the credits, Keith David's Frank shares his name with the screenwriter of the film, Frank Armitage. You may be familiar with some of Armitage's other work, such as Halloween, The Thing, Escape from New York. For those of you catching on to what I'm doing, that's right, John Carpenter wrote They Live under the alias of Frank Armitage, which is a reference to Dr. Henry Armitage, a character in H.P. Lovecraft's The Dunwich Horror. Both Armitages have to deal with a disguised threat rising to power, and David definitely holds his own against the evil aliens taking over our society. Carpenter wrote the part for David after working with him on The Thing, and after fighting that thing, he could definitely take on the Theys.
You have your authorization cards.
Right here.
The film's subliminal messages influenced street artist Shepard Fairey in the creation of his Obey clothing brand. It's a little ironic, though, that Fairey took the film's anti-capitalist message and sorta used that to create a company for profit. But in addition to those awesome black and white billboards, you already know the aliens are a signature look as well. What you may not know is that in addition to coordinating the ridiculously awesome fight scene, again, more on that later, Jeff Imada played most of the featured ghouls you see on screen, men and women. The aliens in the short story have green reptilian flesh or multiple yellow eyes, which is a more traditional 50s sci-fi interpretation of aliens. But Carpenter wanted them to look like a corrupted human, to emphasize humanity's corruption at the hands of consumerism. Or at the very least, like the corruption caused by buying tons of dog food.
I don't even like dogs.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Probably the most memorable line from the movie was never in the script. Carpenter just wanted Nada to say something badass when he walks into the bank, and Piper kept a book of one-liners on hand for his work in the wrestling ring and shared it with Carpenter. They came across this one-liner, and the rest is film history.
I came here to drink milk and kick ass. And I've just finished my milk.
They Live is clearly a scathing commentary on Reaganism and consumerism in the 80s. I mean, hell, listen to the alien politician on the TV during the supermarket scene.
The feeling is definitely there. It's a new morning in America.
If that sounds familiar, it's because the phrase morning in America played a big part of Reagan's re-election campaign of 1984.
It's morning again in America.
So take any other interpretation of this film, especially that insane anti-Semitic one, and shove it. Carpenter has repeatedly stated that he made this film as a direct reaction to yuppies and capitalism, and that he thinks you're dumb and wrong.
No!
All right. Now it's time to get to the fight. The thing you already know about the fight is that it's awesome. Period. Full stop. What you may not know is the fight was inspired by John Ford's The Quiet Man, starring John Wayne, which also features a comically long fight throughout the small town. Carpenter took advantage of having a professional wrestler in his film and wrote in a long fight scene. Piper and David worked with stunt coordinator Jeff Imada for weeks to get this fight scene right, with every suplex, punch, and groin kick. Also, and this is according to Piper, it once held the Guinness World Record for the longest fight in movie history. We can't officially verify that, but I wouldn't have argued with him while he was here, and I'm not going to question him now that he's gone. That's it for this episode, but let us know in the comments if you care about democracy. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to CineFix for more true-ish things about movies and sometimes being all out of bubblegum right here on Things You Didn't Know.